What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole. 2.5 hours of something that had really never quite been done before. But it turns out I was just getting started. Being an old programmer, I got the operating specs for a DVD player, and lo and behold, there's a random number generator in there. And we had done all these interviews about random number generators and how consciousness affects it.
REG machines, random event generators, are electronic tosses of the coin.
One type of random number generator experiment that's been conducted many, many times, hundreds of times, over the past 4 decades or so, since around the 1960s, has been a random generator that only produces sequences of random bits, zeros and ones, like flipping coins. And you would simply ask somebody to press a button, it would produce 200 bits. And you would ask them to say, well, try to make it produce more 1 bits than 0 bits. And when you take the entire body of literature, all of the hundreds of experiments that have been done, you can ask a single question. Did it matter that people were trying to push it towards ones or push it towards zeros? And the overall answer is yes.
So it was like, voila. If I can have the random number generator choose the interviews and the sequence of interviews that is going to happen, it's going to end up like a 21st century I Ching. Every time you watch it, it's going to be different. Not only that, there was logical things where you could program how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. So if you have a section of like 10 interviews, you could say, I don't want to go down that far, so it only show you, let's say, 3. And when you turn on random, they would come out in a different order. So every time you watch the movie, it would be different. Then I thought, well, you know, by now everyone has seen the Amanda scenes. They're wonderful and everything, but we don't really need to see her in the bathtub. So I put in a switch where you can turn off the dramatic scenes. So now it's a straight documentary. You can actually do the opposite. You can turn off the interviews and then it's a straight dramatic film. So every time you watch it, it would be different. And you can even configure it so the whole 5 hours worth shows in about 15 minutes. So there was all these extra interviews, and I took all the things from the original What the Bleep and all the things from the rabbit hole, put all of them together, and then added another 2 hours worth of interviews down the rabbit hole. I mean, this was down, 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 and it's something that you can only get playing it on a DVD player. So now, of course, everyone wants to download things, instant download and whatnot, which is great, but this is never going to be available like that because you need the DVD player and the random generator.
Radin was studying the behavior of random number generators. But then Radin found that whenever the intentions were strong in the courtroom, that's when the deviation of these random number generators from randomness becomes very high.
This will only play on a DVD player because you need that programming, you need the random number generator to do it. So maybe it's the swan song of DVDs because they are phasing out, but it's the only way you can ever go way, way down the rabbit hole.